Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena
Devan bhavayatanena
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Shreya paramavapsyatha
Shreya paramavapsyatha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Muchyante sarvakilbishaihi
Muchyante sarvakilbishaihi
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Parjanyadanna sambhavah.
पर्जन्यादन्न सम्भवः
Yajñād bhavati parjanyah.
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः
Yajñah karma samudbhavah.
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi.
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
Brahmakshara samudbhavam.
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
Tasmat sarvagatam brahma.
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
Nityam yajñe pratishthitam.
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we just read this line about the sattvic approach, and I had asked you to do a small homework and come back. That is, read this line with a lot of feeling and bhavana. Yajñashishtashinah santah muchyante sarvakil vishaihi. Those, that is the virtuous people, santah, who eat the remnants of sacrifice, are freed from all faults. Now, why did I ask you to read it with a lot of bhavana? You need to understand the principle behind that. Generally, what happens is that whenever we are impressed with someone, we tend to absorb the energy from that person. Whom would we be impressed with? We would generally be impressed with those people who have something which we admire a lot. Admiring means you have a value. So when you have a value for an object, or when you have a value for a particular quality, you start admiring. You start admiring that person who has that object or quality. When I say you, I mean your mind. Now, when you start admiring someone, your consciousness starts getting connected to that quality, that is the energy behind the quality. This is a very important principle which I want you to understand. This will help you so much in your life. Every object, everything in the world, every object, person, quality, anything you take, it emits a certain kind of energy. And that energy can be positive or negative. We are talking from a spiritual point of view. Whether it is an inanimate object or whether it is a living creature or whether it is a person, it doesn't matter. Or even abstract concepts, so-called abstract ideologies, they also emit energy. And when that energy is positive, and when you admire that, when your consciousness gets connected to that, you start absorbing that positive energy. When that energy is negative and you start absorbing that, now your whole consciousness, your mind will start reflecting that negative energy. So you will have to do an analysis of what is it that you are getting attracted to in life, and whether whatever you are getting attracted to or whomever you are admiring, whether they are emitting negative energy or positive energy. How do we define, how do we differentiate whether something is negative or positive? Whenever there is positive energy, it will uplift you. Whenever there is negative energy, it will cause your downfall in the long run. Anything which helps you to progress in your life is positive. Anything which adds on towards moving down, that is devolving, then that is negative. So it is very interesting in our Shastras, the Puranas. Each Purana is centered around one God, that will be the main God. And the entire Purana will be talking about the glories of that particular God. For example, if you take Vishnu Purana, the central theme is the energy of Lord Vishnu. If you take Shiva Purana, the center would be Lord Shiva. Devi Purana, the center will be the goddess. So many Puranas have been given. What is interesting is, see, there are 18 major Puranas and then there are Upa Puranas, there is minor Puranas also are there. Now all the 18 were written by Vyasa only. Okay, one Purana is attributed to his father, Vyasa's father, but Vyasa accepted that, he endorsed that. So it is as good as one person writing all the Puranas. So in one Purana, he keeps Lord Shiva as the center. In another Purana, he keeps Lord Vishnu as a center. In another Purana, Bhagavan Muruga as a center. And Lord Ganesha, like this, different goddesses. It's the same person who has written all that. Now there is a deeper meaning to that. Without understanding all that, people fight. See, when a person reads the Vishnu Purana and finds that Vishnu has been given more importance, then he goes about saying that Vishnu is the superior most of all the gods. Vishnu is superior to Shiva and others. Another person reads the Shiva Purana and there Shiva is glorified. So he concludes, therefore Lord Shiva is the best. Similarly, each one, takes up one Purana and then they have followers and they keep fighting against each other. There is some meaning in fighting if the authors were different. What I am saying is, even then quarrel is not good, but at least there is some method in that madness. But when the author is only one person, then instead of quarreling, one should try to find out what is the deeper meaning. Why is it that the same person in one Purana has glorified one God, another Purana, another God? That itself is conveying a message, and that message is all these gods are equal. They are all manifestations of the infinite, supreme, formless reality, the formless God principle called Brahman. Whether it is Lord Vishnu or Shiva or Muruga or Ganesha or Goddess Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati, it doesn't matter. They are all different manifestations of that infinite, supreme God principle. No one is superior or inferior. The superiority or inferiority is in your mind only. So you tend to project your mind onto everything. Now you project your mind onto gods and then you start comparing who is better and all that. So this is the deep sadhana principle, where you focus on one energy of the infinite and you do your sadhana, then that energy becomes your focus. That doesn't mean you disrespect the other forms or other energies, but it's easier for the mind to focus. That's how the very form worship and all that was devised by these great yogis. See, when God is formless, why do you require a form? This question comes to a sadhak's mind, no? Because in the initial stages, especially the initial stages, it's difficult for the mind to straightaway conceive the formless and focus on that. Concentration becomes very difficult. Therefore, as a prop, they said you start focusing your mind on a form and let that form be a manifestation of that infinite, because the infinite is, as the name itself goes, it is infinite in nature. So you cannot contain it in any one form. So we can pick up one aspect of the infinite and focus on that energy. Through that, you can reach the infinite. So worship of Lord Vishnu is like entering the room of the infinite through one door. Worship of Lord Shiva is like entering the same room through another door. Worship of Lord Ganesha is entering that room through another door. Worship of Goddess Parvati or Goddess Lakshmi or all these supreme gods, they are all different doorways, we can say, which take you to the same door, same room, and that room is the infinite formless reality. Now, why I'm mentioning this is because someone has asked this question about finding it so difficult to focus on the formless reality. So then which form should I choose and all that? Whatever you are inspired with, you can take up that form. There is no hard and fast rule in this. There is a meaning of Ishta Daivata, making it easy for the mind to concentrate, to focus. But you should be careful not to get stuck with the form. If you are a true devotee of Lord Vishnu, you will develop devotion and respect to all the gods as you are progressing in your sadhana. If you are a true devotee of Lord Shiva, now you will progress. As you progress in the spiritual path, you will develop the same devotion and respect, reverence to all the other gods also. Because you will understand that they are all different manifestations of the same infinite formless reality. When you get caught up with the form, when you get stuck with the form, that is when you start seeing all the differences, and then you wonder who is now superior, who is inferior. All these thoughts come as a result of one's ego. Now, how many forms are there? In the Shastras, they have listed out many manifestations. But if you really think about it, there are infinite forms. There can be, the possibility is infinite. That is why they say the supreme God principle was there in the past, is there in the present, will be there in the future also. If you ask a child to conceive God, the child will conceive God as a child. Even if you tell the child the stories or the various incidents which happened in Lord Krishna's life, the child will relate to Bala Krishna, the God, that is Krishna, when he was a child. It is what your mind relates to. That is the key. So even if you take the Yoga Sankirtan materials which have been given to you, the Yoga Sankirtan meditation, each Yoga Sankirtan is centered around one energy. Now, as a sadhak, you should never ask which one is better. That question itself is meaningless. Each Yoga Sankirtan meditation material will help you to get connected to that infinite formless reality. These are all methods, doorways by which you reach the center. So one of the principles which they have employed in the Puranas is glorification of that particular God. Like if you read the Vishnu Purana, for example, Lord Vishnu will be glorified tremendously. His attributes will be explained, would have been explained, and each attribute will make you relate to that energy of Lord Vishnu so passionately. When you passionately relate to God, when you send all your emotions to God, that is called devotion. When the same emotion is directed towards the world, it is called love. When it is directed towards God, it is called devotion. The emotion is one and the same. So when the glorification is done, what happens? It's a beautiful science. Now the mind will start admiring all those qualities, the description, everything, If you take the Mahashiva Purana, Lord Shiva has been glorified. You take the Devi Purana, the goddess has been glorified. And when you read the descriptions, what happens is you will start admiring all those qualities. You will start, actually the admiration will become an awe. An awe factor is created within you. That is what they say, in the height of devotion, the hair stand on their ends, they say, It's so true. In deep meditation, when you start experiencing the infinite, devotion automatically happens. The emotion just flows and you have all your hair stand on their ends. It is a state which is beyond words. That's what in the second chapter Lord Krishna said, Ascharyavat. Such a person will just be wonderstruck, seeing the grandeur of the infinite. So when the mind starts admiring, slowly, it will start absorbing the energy behind those gunas, those qualities. See, even if you read the Ramayana, Lord Rama's Kalyana gunas mean all good qualities, auspicious qualities have all been so beautifully described. Now when you read that, you start admiring, you get into a state of admiration, and when you get into a state of admiration, your emotion keeps on flowing. The most interesting part is you will start absorbing the energy behind whatever it is that you're admiring. So slowly you will start acquiring those qualities. It is a very scientific method, a very powerful principle which our yogis have used for you to absorb the energy of the infinite. You see, even in the Yoga Sankirtan material, the different energies, whether it is Shri Hari Dhyana or Mahashiva Dhyana or Mahaganapati, Om Saravana Bhava Dhyana, and Shri Hanumat Dhyana is there. Nirvana Shatkam is of course directly of the infinite. Now, when you see the words which have been used, a lot of glorification will be there. Why? So that you start, your mind starts getting into a state of admiration and awe. The devotion factor automatically is created within you. Nobody needs to tell you thereafter, be devoted to God. It doesn't come by merely saying. It is only when the admiration is there, when that awe is created, true devotion springs forth naturally, spontaneously. We will be seeing that in the chapter where Krishna shows his Vishwarupa darshan. Arjuna asks Krishna to show him the infinite experience, to give him that infinite experience. Vishwarupa darshana is nothing but is nothing but symbolic of that experience of the infinite, the glory of the infinite. And when Arjuna gets that experience, Krishna clearly says, you can't really see that with these two eyes. It is not possible. God is not gross for you to see with these two eyes. You need to awaken your third eye. So he does that Divya Chakshu, as he calls it, the divine eye. And he awakens that in Arjuna. And when the divine eye, the third eye, the inner eye gets awakened, Arjuna goes into a very powerful, advanced, meditative state where he experiences the glory of the infinite. And in that chapter, Arjuna goes into raptures. He says, what I'm seeing is like 1,000 suns in front of me, so resplendent. He falls short of words to express that. He gets into a state of admiration, awe, and natural devotion starts flowing from him. The devotion, surrender, everything happens so spontaneously, so naturally. He even goes to that extent, where when he sees that universal form, actually he gets a little frightened because he is not at that level. But he requested Krishna. Krishna gave it to him for a purpose. He requests Krishna to get back to his gentle form. That's why, the sadhana has to be done to your level. If you do the sadhana of a higher level without proper guidance and without you being prepared, it can actually unsettle you. He becomes so frightened and he says, Krishna, till now I was thinking that you're just my friend, and now you are this powerful being. So jokingly I have teased you, I have made fun of you, all that he remembers. So he gets frightened. So please don't keep all that in mind, I'm very sorry. Genuinely he starts apologizing. And then he requests, he says, I cannot take this anymore. Come back to your gentle form. Give me that experience. So, what is the principle? Wherever there is admiration, see, it first starts off with admiration. You start admiring something. Let's take a quality, for example. You admire a particular quality. Then, as you go into the depth of it, an awe is created. You start getting connected to that person who has that quality, and you start absorbing that energy. Your consciousness starts getting connected to the energy, and when you start absorbing that energy, slowly you will start developing the quality from within you. Now, unfortunately today, in the movies and all that, what are they doing? They are glorifying the negative qualities in many movies. I'm not saying in all movies, but in many movies. They are, for example, they glorify the act of drinking or the act of smoking, or it could be, some other negative quality. So the mind which is not trained, or when a person does not think originally, there is no clarity, he or she just looks at all that and absorbs that energy because they start admiring. Now it's a very dangerous thing because you're actually absorbing the negative energy. See, it can go to very dangerous, it can take very dangerous proportions. It happened in, I think it was in Japan or some country, where a so-called spiritual teacher, he was not truly spiritual, but he started advocating suicide as the solution to all the problems and to attain salvation, to attain moksha, liberation. So he used to conduct lectures, so he used to conduct sessions, and thousands of people committed suicide. What he told them is, you all commit suicide and you go, I'll fulfill my mission in life and I'll finally join you. He was arrested also. This happened several years back. It came out in the newspapers and all that. So you can imagine a person in a session can talk about suicide so much, glorify it to that extent where people start admiring it, and then finally they commit suicide. See how dangerous it is. That is, the misuse of this principle can create a lot of issues. Whereas if you use this principle in the right way, it can truly elevate you. It can elevate your consciousness. So in the yogic approach, we use this principle to the fullest extent. Because ultimately, what is it that we want? We want to fill ourselves with all the positive and higher energies and finally merge with that supreme infinite reality. This is what is a goal. Now when this is the goal, you need to follow this principle as much as possible. So that was the reason why I asked you to read this line about the sattvic approach. The reference is about sattvic approach, santaha. Santaha means virtuous people. So the virtuous who eat the remnants of sacrifice are freed from all faults. So when you start admiring that state, whatever you start admiring, you will start developing that within yourself. See, if you have a lot of value for money, if a wealthy person comes, you will admire that person. You will stand up. You will give him some special respect. You will absorb that energy. If you have a lot of value for, let us say, name and fame, then if a celebrity in some field comes, now immediately you will absorb that energy. You will say, can I take a selfie with you? So much of admiration is there. As a sadhak, you should learn to put all your value on the higher aspects of life. It is the sattvic people who need to be truly admired. Unfortunately today, that's not happening. Why? Because that is the very nature of this yuga, Kali Yuga. Your intellect is deteriorated. The mind has got corrupted. So naturally, what will the mind appreciate? What will the mind admire? That which gives it instant gratification. So it is very easy for you to find out what are the things which you are valuing a lot today. Very simple. Whom are the kind of people you are admiring? What are the kind of qualities you admire? Whom do you get naturally attracted to? Now, all those actually represent what you are valuing in life. So, if you learn to value the higher aspects, here we are talking about the sattvic aspect or the sattvic approach towards the principle of parasparam. Now, you will start absorbing that energy. So, when you go on admiring, for example, Santaha, he says, the great saints, the great yogis, the great virtuous people. Now, when you go on admiring, slowly, you will also become virtuous. So, even without going into the depth of this portion, if you simply apply this principle, you will grow spiritually very fast. That doesn't mean now we should not go into the depth of it. Of course, we will be doing that also. Because the more deep we go into this, the more will be your admiration. But if you don't follow this principle, if you're just reading this intellectually, now we may go into any amount of depth, but your energy pattern will still remain the same. You will talk about it. See, there are many people who say, I have read the Bhagavad Gita, I have read the Vedas, I have read the Puranas. So what? Has it changed your energy pattern from within you? They talk about all the scriptures. They say Bhagavad Gita says this, Bhagavad Gita says that. But within themselves, the energy patterns remain the same because their values have not changed. Whatever it is that they value in life, that is not changed. So, the very structure of our Puranas are meant to create, is meant to create this effect. They have taken up different energies of the infinite and they have glorified the manifestation of that energy, which could be Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Goddess Parvati, Goddess Lakshmi. It could be any manifestation, but they go on glorifying, and you get connected with that energy, and when you get connected with that energy, you start absorbing it. You start acquiring all those qualities. See, this is the genius of our rishis, of our yogis. See, what a master plan they have created. They have created a system where without your knowledge, you will start absorbing the energy of the higher. Incidentally, it is the same thing which many people are using today to attract your mind towards lower things. It may be in the field of advertisement and marketing also. You see, the same principles are only used, but to influence the mind in a different way. Now, we will use that principle fully by using the yogic approach, going deep into these principles. And as we are going deep, every step we take should inspire us, should make us admire these things. Don't get into a negative state where, oh, I'm not like this, I'm not like that. It's not that. See, set aside your ego and just start admiring godly qualities. See, you have the energy body which has a lot of energy centers. They are called chakras. Now, it's a very deep yogic science. There are many nadis. Nadis are nothing but astral tubes through which the energy flows. Now, there are 72,000 major nadis, and then they branch off into 72 lakhs of nadis through which the energies are distributed. Now, out of the 72,000 nadis, 14 nadis are very important ones. Out of the 14, 3 nadis are extremely important. The Ida, Pingala and Sushumna nadi. I am just very briefly giving you this, but anyway, in the higher empowerments, we will be dealing. For example, we did the Prana Tattva level 1. In that, I had introduced you to that astral body, the Prana Vayu Sharira, which directly controls the physical body. So, when you practice the meditations which were given in the Kaya Tattva, which is nothing but that of the physical body at the intracellular level, and then the meditations of Prana Tattva level 1, which control the atoms of the physical body. Now, health, all these things will be restored very fast, and not only that, you will start becoming more energy sensitive from a spiritual point of view. So, when we go to the higher levels, which we'll be doing in the future, now we will be exploring all these things. See, there are so many people who talk about these things. In the yogic science, there's no point in just merely talking. Okay, this energy center, there, all that is told to you, this chakra, that chakra. No, it's all theory. You have to actually experience these things, no? So, the empowerment courses are aimed towards making you experience. Many of you attended the Prana Tattva level 1 were telling me, you all sent mails and feedback saying that it was amazing where we could actually feel the first layer of our subtle body, the astral body. It was a great experience. So, we will see all this, but the point which is relevant here is these 3 nadis, they run exactly parallel to your spinal cord, and they meet at several places. Wherever they meet, it is an energy center. It is called a chakra, or it is also called a kumbh. Just now we had the Mahakumbh. Many people, they went and they took a dip. The 3 rivers, Sangamam was there, that is, the joining was there. It is symbolic of the yogic science only. So, the great yogis said, wherever there is a kumbh, if you take a dip there, now it becomes auspicious for you. They are not actually talking about the external part. That is a reminder for the yogic science. If at all you do that, it should just be a reminder. But the real benefits you get when you raise your Shakti, when you raise your energy through the higher empowerments given by the Master, and when you actually take a dip in the internal kumbh, which is called the chakra, wherever these nadis meet. Now what is interesting is there are many chakras, hundreds or even I would say thousands of chakras. Certain chakras are supposed to be very important. Now there is one energy center here at the top of the head. It is called Sahasrara chakra, the 1000-petaled lotus. Now it is connected to the cosmic world, to the cosmic energy world through what the yogis call as a spiritual cord. Now what they say is, whenever you associate yourself with a positive quality, now your spiritual cord gets connected to a positive dimension. Whenever you associate yourself with a negative quality, your spiritual cord gets connected to a negative dimension. All these have been explained by the yogis in a very detailed way. The dimension means lokas. Lokaha means a dimension. So they have said what the Patala Loka is the lowest dimension. From there up to the infinite dimension, they have given out all that. In deep meditation, you experience all this, and that is how these yogis have given out this wisdom. So, when you practice this apparently simple principle which was given to you last time, that is, start reading these higher aspects of whatever is being taught to you here with full bhavana. Now what will happen is you will start absorbing that the energy of the higher, the positive energy. Then your spiritual cord gets connected to the higher dimensions. And then when you do your daily sadhana, the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, when you sit with your eyes closed and when you are doing that sadhana, now this higher connection will be very conducive for self-purification. Whatever negative karmas which you have acquired will all start getting burnt up. In the empowerment programs, that is what is done. The master actually literally lends his energy. There is an energy transfer, and your spiritual cord gets connected to the infinite dimension according to your capacity, according to your level. And that's why effortlessly you get into that state of meditation. You go so deep. In the presence of a master, you will automatically become meditative because all your energies, your chakras, energy centers, everything get aligned, and your spiritual cord gets attuned, gets connected to the higher. I am explaining this to you from the energy point of view also, because ultimately the Bhagavad Gita is a yoga shastra. All our scriptures are yoga shastras only. See, we understand today yoga in a very limited way. We think yoga means merely doing the physical asanas. That is a very small portion of this great science of yoga. Yoga means union. It's derived from the Sanskritam root, yuj. Yuj means to unite, to get connected. And what are you getting connected to? You're getting connected to the infinite. This is a great yogic science, and whatever principles are being given to you are the great yogic principles. These are given to you in a very user friendly way. They have been simplified and they are given to you. That's why sometimes you don't have value for them. Because the rat race of life is so fast that you really don't have the time or the capacity to penetrate and go deep. That's why these things are being simplified and given to you in your way, in the modern context, so that you can relate to that and start applying these principles in your life. So from this moment onwards, start admiring the higher qualities in others. Even in a so-called negative person, you will definitely be able to find at least one good quality. Now start admiring that quality. The other things which that person does, you have nothing to do with that. Why do you want to get connected to that energy? You know what that person did. You know what that person said. Okay, that person said it. Now why are you getting connected to that? Why are you connecting your energies to that? No, the mind keeps on at it. So practice this great yogic principle which our yogis have used to a very good effect. And so you practice this and start uplifting your consciousness. You know, in the month of July, when we are going to have the yogic sadhana, the deeper sadhana of Guru Purnima, on that day, we'll be focusing on aligning all our energies, energy centers, and all our energies, to the Guru Shakti. That is the real sadhana of Guru Purnima. See, these secrets are not known to people today. They think Guru Purnima is saying, oh, happy Guru, like we say, happy birthday, happy this, happy that. Similarly, oh, happy Guru Purnima, they say. It's not merely that. Of course, you have to be very happy. But the real sadhana is in aligning your energies to the Guru Shakti. So, week after week, I'm preparing you for that now. That's why I explain the same thing from the energy point of view, so that you start getting a hang of these things. So the virtuous who eat the remnants of sacrifice are freed from all faults. Muchyante sarvakil vishaihi. So he is using the word santah to denote the sattvic people. Now he used the word stenah, thief, to denote the tamasic person. Then agham was used to denote the rajasic people. Now here santah is being used to denote the sattvic people. The santah literally means virtuous. Now the word sant is derived from the word sat. Sat means a saint actually. Sat has many dimensions, that's what we'll be seeing. It is a very, very powerful word. So we will take up a few dimensions which will be useful in mastering this principle of parasparam. That is the principle of give and take. If we have to take all the dimensions now, that will be endless, Already uh, each verse we are really going into the depth, and week after week we are doing this. So we will stick to the context. That's very important. So the first meaning of Sat is what has been given, virtue. So a person who is virtuous is called a Sant. What do we mean by a person who is virtuous? A person who is dharmic, who does not want to cheat others. See, when we did the tamasic aspect, stenaha, outright cheating, a thief is one who is totally adharmic. Right from beginning, he resorts to unrighteous means only. When we were seeing the Rajasic person, we were seeing Agham, no? A person who starts off in a righteous way, but when he faces some challenges and all that, he resorts to unrighteous means. So he does focus on giving and taking, but more focus on taking. So slowly, the selfishness sets in. Now, a sattvic person who is a sant, what does he do? He is righteous at the outset, number one, that is the beginning. He is righteous in the middle, and he is righteous till the end. This is the key. A tamasic person is unrighteous at the beginning itself. So beginning, middle, end, it's all is adharmic. A rajasic person is righteous in the beginning, but in the middle he becomes unrighteous. Whereas a sattvic person maintains the dharma, the righteousness throughout his journey. So when you relate to a sattvic person, he is most trustworthy. If there is one person whom you can genuinely believe, it is a sattvic person. Because he is very fair, impartial. He never wants everything for himself. He wants to balance the giving and taking. In the management jargon, they call this as win-win philosophy. It is a feeble echo of our ancient wisdom only. A rajasic person can be trusted up to an extent, but you will have to be a little cautious. A tamasic person should not be trusted at all, because one day he'll say one thing, next day he'll just say the opposite, and he will act as if that is only right, as if he never said this. He will just lie and say, I never said that. So trustworthiness. See, whatever it is that you're doing, you should be trustworthy. It is the trustworthiness which will give you success in your work, in personal relationships, wherever it is. See, just imagine, if a person is very loyal to a company, the company will find that person very trustworthy. Who is given more responsibility in an organization? The more trustworthy a person is, the more responsibility is given to that person. Even in a personal relationship, let's say a husband and wife, the trust factor is the key. The day the trust starts going away, then the relationship will start falling. Let us say, a person is constantly lying, is not straightforward, is not frank. Now that person, slowly people will stop trusting that person. See, you should be so trustworthy where, when somebody gives you a work, they should feel, I have given this person, now I can be rest assured. I know that it should give that person that security. This person will definitely complete it. This person is very responsible. So it is dharma which makes you trustworthy and responsible. And the more responsibility you take, the more powerful you will become. This kind of power is not for selfish purposes, but you will become highly influential. See, it's beautifully demonstrated by Lord Krishna, in the Mahabharata war. Now, Krishna said, I am not going to wield any weapon. Actually, Duryodhana thought that was a disadvantage. But what he didn't realize is Krishna doesn't require any weapon. Just his presence is enough, no? The kind of infinite energy which he was radiating, that is enough, no, to secure the victory for the Pandavas. What is the necessity for this weapon, that weapon and all that? So in the Mahabharata war, what happens is Arjuna, Arjuna's son Abhimanyu dies. That is, Abhimanyu is cruelly killed by 6 warriors from the Kaurava camp. Not only he was cruelly killed, he was only a young boy, 16 years or something. That's all. But very, very powerful. See, he was trained by Arjuna, but more than Arjuna, he was trained by his uncle Krishna. Abhimanyu was a son of Arjuna and Shubhadra. Shubhadra was Krishna's sister. So just imagine, the combination of Arjuna and Krishna, so powerful was he. So he was killed by unfair means. 6 Maharathas, the great chariot warriors, they committed this unrighteous act. Even Karna was a part of it. Through unrighteous means, he broke Abhimanyu's bow, instead of standing in front, because he was unable to fight him that day. Abhimanyu was so powerful. And when Karna broke the bow, Abhimanyu turned and said, what sort of a man are you? My father, that is Arjuna, my father has always spoken so high of you. He has always said that you are such a great archer. Actually, my father has said that, you are the number 1 archer. But today, I feel he is wrong. You can never equal my father. He said that to Karna. Not only Karna, all the great warriors. So through unrighteous means they killed. I'm not going into the full story. Now if we get into that, that is where it's so interesting, Now, so when Arjuna came to know about it, what he did was, he took an oath. See, what had happened is, it was a plan which the Kauravas had devised. So the Vyuha formation, that is how they set up the army. That day, Drona had created what was called as Chakra Vyuha. which was impossible to penetrate. Only Arjuna knew how to get through that. So they had taken Arjuna to another corner by asking some great fighters to challenge him, and he went off there. And then the Chakravyuha was formed. Now, none of the Pandavas were able to enter the Chakravyuha. Within one day, the war would have gotten over. The Kauravas would have won. So it was at that time that Abhimanyu said, I can break this Vyuha. From where did he learn? From his father. He said, my father taught me. When did he teach you? Because you are so young now. He said when he was in his mother's womb, Arjuna was explaining the Chakravyuha, 50% of it he was explaining to Shubhadra. And when he was in the womb, he got that wisdom. It's very interesting. So he said, I know how to break and go inside, but I don't know how to come out. To which the Pandavas said, you don't need to worry, just open this Vyuha. We will all be following you. Bhima, of course Arjuna was on the other side. So Bhima, Yudhishthira, Nakula, Sahadevan, everyone. So we'll all just come behind you, and once you open it, we will protect you. We will do the needful. But what happened was, when Abhimanyu broke the Chakravyuha and started going in, the Pandavas were about to follow, but Jayadratha was the brother-in-law of Duryodhana. So he came and stood in between and started fighting the Pandavas, and he had a boon that when Arjuna is absent, he can keep the 4 Pandavas at bay. Again, that is another story. See, Mahabharata is full of amazing incidents. So he came and started fighting with the Pandavas, and the Pandavas, to their utter horror, they found that they were unable to defeat him so easily. He was able to hold them. Not defeat them, but hold them at bay. And time was getting wasted. And before they knew, the Chakravyuha again closed. The last thing which they saw was Abhimanyu turning back and seeing whether they were following him. And then the Chakravyuha closed. But the great warrior Abhimanyu, what he thought was, so what if I don't know to get out of this Vyuha? Let me fight these guys single-handedly and let me defeat all of them. Once they are all defeated, then there will be no Vyuha at all, no formation. So he started fighting all the great warriors like Drona, Karna, of course, many others, chariot warriors. All of them at one go, and none of them were able to defeat him. That was the beauty. That day, Abhimanyu showed what his prowess was. And then they resorted to unfair means and killed him. 6 people together, they committed that crime. So later in the evening when Arjuna came back, he was experiencing immense sorrow, obviously. And then he got angry. He took an oath. He said, tomorrow I will kill Jayadratha before sunset, because he was the cause. He left off the other 6 people, He said, Jayadratha, I will kill him before sunset. If I don't kill him, I will fall in the fire and I will die. This was a very foolish oath he took, because now the Kauravas need not do anything. They just had to guard Jayadratha. That was enough. If Jayadratha lives just for one more day, then Arjuna will commit suicide. So he took that oath. So what happened was, I'm not getting into the full thing as I told you. I know all of you are very eager. You want me to tell the full Mahabharata. That is like another ocean, Each incident will teach us so many things, and very interesting. When we did the first chapter and also in that Gita Dhyanam, that is, we had covered many of these incidents from Mahabharata. So I think the videos are all there. They're working on them, and in the future they will all be loaded in the internet. So for you to watch them, for those of you who missed it, and even for those who have watched, you can, I'm sure you will anyway not remember. So it's so inspiring. So that night, I'm not going through it. I'll tell you the end also. Arjuna did kill Jayadratha, and he fulfilled the oath with the help of Krishna. But that night, what Krishna did was he called his charioteer, Dharuka, and he said, keep my chariot with all the weapons ready. At any point of time tomorrow, if I blow my conch at the note of Rishabha, Re, when I blow it in that note, immediately bring my chariot with all the weapons. So to which Dharuka asked him, Krishna, why do you want to do that? Because you have taken an oath that I will not use my weapons. What is the need for this? Isn't Arjuna good enough? Can't he fulfill his oath? He said, no. See, Arjuna is the greatest warrior, no doubt about it. But the people whom he is fighting, they are also great. And it's not one. There are many people in the Kaurava camp. So it is practically not possible for Arjuna to defeat all of them in just one day and fulfill his oath. It's going to be very tough. It was because of Krishna's astuteness that Arjuna was able to kill Jayadratha the next day. So he said, in case he is unable to do that, I cannot afford to lose Arjuna. He is my close friend, So I don't mind taking up arms and fighting and helping Arjuna to fulfill the oath. To which Dharuka asked him, Krishna, if you do that, you will get a bad name because you took an oath. You said, you made a promise, I will not touch any weapon. But if you take up the weapons and fight, you will get a bad name. To which Krishna said, to me, bad name is not important. I don't mind losing my name. But to me, my dear friend Arjuna is important. Dharma is important. Righteousness, because Arjuna is required to establish righteousness. It's a very powerful message which Krishna gives there. Now, what is the point which I am referring to? See, in this whole story, you should not forget the context. That is trustworthiness, responsibility. So when Krishna masterminded the war, the world war, when he masterminded for the Pandava camp, he had taken up the greatest responsibility. When he said, I am not going to take up arms, that was for a particular reason. But otherwise, tremendous responsibility. So, this is one classic example. Arjuna was not even aware of the plan which Krishna had done, this backup plan. It was all done in the background. So much of trustworthiness and responsibility was there. See, this is just one incident in the war. Like this, if you read the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the Puranas, but you have to apply the yogic approach. Then only you will be able to eke out the sadhana messages. You will find so many practical messages have been given to us. The beauty is Krishna was willing to get a bad name in order to establish righteousness. Arjuna didn't even know what Krishna was doing in the background. So when you uh, go to a master. A master does so many things in the background. When you go to a yogi, he doesn't tell you what he does. It's all done in the background because no yogi wants to take any credit. That's why a master is so trustworthy. So, Sant means being righteous to the core, beginning, middle, and end, being trustworthy and responsible. So, pick up these three qualities. As I told you, start admiring them. I gave you one incident from the Mahabharata war just to inspire you. But in your life, now see how responsible are you, how trustworthy are you, how righteous are you. And stick to dharma. Dharma will protect you. So, these are the first three dimensions of a sant, which I want you to reflect upon. We'll stop with this today, but what is important is I want you to reflect on this with full passion, with full admiration. Just think, conceive, of a person who is righteous to the core, right from beginning till the end, who is so trustworthy. You can go and tell him anything. You can trust him fully. Who is extremely responsible. See, one of the key factors of karma yoga is responsibility. A tamasic person will not take up any responsibility. A rajasic person will take up responsibility, but with, I told with that kartritva bhavana, I am the doer attitude. So he'll become stressed. A sattvic person is dharmic, that is righteous, virtuous, is trustworthy, and is extremely responsible, but no kartritva bhavana, no I am the doer attitude. He is always attuned to the higher. So if you can just visualize a person like that, you really, you get so inspired, isn't it? So get into that state of admiration. Then only you will be able to link yourself, link your consciousness to the energy of a sant. And within no time you will find that all these qualities will start manifesting from within you. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll do nididhyasana, meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. feel and experience the divine vibrations to the core. With every breath, I'm going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my pranas, beyond my chakras, energy centers, beyond my emotions and thoughts, lies my real self. My higher self is infinite and divine. From this moment onwards, I choose to to be dharmic, righteous, trustworthy, and responsible. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today we had an inspiring session. Now start applying that principle which I had explained to you today. Reflect on these points with a lot of emotion, bhavana. Don't see them as mere intellectual points, but get emotionally connected to them. That's why I gave you the example of Lord Krishna. So he, being a friend to Arjuna, he was so trustworthy to the core, To that extent where he said, even if I get a bad name, it's okay. But I have to do my duty towards my friend. One is to read all these incidents. But the other most important thing is to pick up these principles. Righteousness, trustworthiness, responsibility. Those are the first three dimensions of becoming a sant, a saint, a yogi. Okay? So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.